Hello all and welcome to Movie Bears Podcast TV. I'm Brad Harris, and every couple of weeks I have the wonderful, wonderful opportunity to sit down with some hella cool. Do people still say hella cool? I don't know. I feel
I
like
don't care. You do, so it's fine. It works for me.
some pretty hella cool guys.
Some wicked awesome guys.
Wicked awesome. Yes, I so need a Boston trip. I feel it in my blood.
Yeah,
It's time to go
July.
back. But not this winter, sorry. No. Not going to do it. In any event, I've got my wonderful co-host with me. Casey Scott is here. Welcome,
Hello. Hi, everyone. Come to Boston in July. Come to Bear Week.
Casey. Well, it's
I will
funny
be
that you say that because we've been talking about making plans.
Please,
just
that would be
today,
wonderful. Yeah.
we were looking at properties, and all of them are like $1,000 per person per night.
Per night? Oh my God.
Per night.
Mine's $1,000 for the week. That's not
Oh wow, nice. Well, the properties that we've been finding are all like $7,000 for the whole week.
Oh my God.
They only fit like 6 to 7 people. So
Oh my God.
Yeah.
If I find anything, I'll give you some, because we look for large groups too, so I'll drop you some links.
that would be
Stuff.
awesome. I would really appreciate that.
Absolutely.
Because right now, I think we're thinking about setting up a beach, like a tent on the beach or something. Like
That
If
is
you need
done.
an extra couple, Sean and I might be interested. So.
oh, well, see, there we go. Because
We could have an MBB TV reunion.
Well, that's
Or-
the thing.
First time meeting.
We've been talking about a Movie Bears podcast house, and I wanted to get a property, and maybe Steve, you and Sean, Casey. I know you guys already have a house, but maybe Will from MBP and his partner, maybe some of the just some of our podcasty boys.
Right.
Yeah.
Might be fun. So let us know, Casey. That would be great.
I will do that after we finish, because I have a bunch of links I can send you right
Oh wait,
now.
we're on the show.
Right?
I thought we were just shooting the shit. Yeah, sorry.
I know. It's all good. You know what? Fair Week and Pizza Out takes priority.
Yeah, that's
you know?
true.
Especially in this winter, yeah.
Right. But you've already heard from him. Stephen Heslin is also here with us. Welcome, Stephen.
Hola, ¿cómo está?
Así
I don't know why I felt like
así
being
tú.
Spanish.
Oh goodness! All right, well, big show this week. We are going to be talking about the X-Files revisit. Is that the official like phrase? It's not
Is
a
it like
reboot.
a relaunch?
Relaunch. I guess relaunch makes
Or
sense.
something.
Maybe.
Yeah.
But it's like a 6-episode special event, so I don't know if it's relaunching.
Right. Dear God, I hope it's better than the Heroes Reborn relaunch.
It doesn't have to try that hard to be better than the heroes.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh goodness. We'll also be talking about Legends of Tomorrow, the new CW show featuring all of the characters that spun off of Flash and Arrow that weren't interesting enough all on their own to have their own show. That's
And
gonna
even-
get
I can't wait to talk about that, because that
I know.
sums up perfectly, actually, the first episode. Right.
I have a feeling that viewpoint is going to get me in trouble with the Comic Book Bears podcast. But
Oh my gosh.
we'll see. I love those guys. Love in my heart. If you hate me, it's okay. I understand.
Love of my heart, duly noted.
Right. Actually, they did a whole episode devoted to Legends of Tomorrow. I haven't gotten a chance to listen to it yet, but I want to go back and hear what they thought. Maybe they hated it. I don't know yet. We'll see. But we're talking about what we think of it. We'll get to that. And we'll also be dishing up a little bit of Me Time TV or Me TV or whatever the hell we call the segment of the show where we focus on ourselves for once and what we are enjoying individually.
My damn TV. Yeah.
When we're all by ourselves, alone in a room with a box of
Oh gosh.
chocolates. Anyway. All right. Well, guys, are you ready to get into it? I see people tuning in already. I'm thinking because they saw
Wow.
X-Files in the title.
Yeah.
Oh, good. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully we won't piss people off.
You know what? You know what? That happens sometimes. It's all good.
What could you do? It's just they're just opinions.
Right. We're
Yeah,
just sharing our opinions. If if they happen to be
Right.
anti to what other people think, it's okay.
Right. We have no power to cancel the show, so it's it doesn't really matter what we have. Right? Our opinions have no impact on the show's future.
Who cares what those fucking bears think? Jeez.
Right, exactly. We're just shooting this shit. You can listen or not, whatever.
That's right. That's right. All right.
My body, I'll do what I want.
Right.
All right. Here we go. Our discussion of the relaunch, revisit, premiere, whatever, of X-Files. Do 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 do. It was kind of crazy hearing that theme song again.
Yeah, the original intro.
Yeah, I was like, they look really young.
I know.
Oh,
this looks very 90s. Yeah, right.
Right. So Casey, why don't you kick us off here? What did and just to put this out there, I mean, general boilerplate. Spoiler warning. We'll be spoiling every show we talk about tonight. Casey, what did you think of the first episode?
Well, I guess I should preface it with, right now, because we're reaching a lot of 20th anniversaries, a lot of stuff from the 90s, which, by the way, I'm sure this applies to everyone. But that makes me feel really old to think that, like, this year is like that. Last year was the 20th anniversary of Speed. Like, that makes me feel really old. Yes, it was 1995. With Speed.
Oh,
wow.
So it makes, and this year's the 20th anniversary of, like, Anaconda. Yeah, it makes me feel really old.
Wow.
Yeah. So, we have Fuller House coming back, which who gives a shit? A lot of 90s stuff is coming back, and this is the one I was kind of excited about because, X-Files is kind of one of these shows that it became a huge pop culture phenomenon. It still has this huge, massive following today. And the fact that they were able to get David Duchovny and Gillian Anderson back and Chris Carter, it was like, the dream team was coming back. And Mitch Pileggi, which is, I think everyone wants more Mitch Pileggi on their TV.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I went into this with some high hopes just because it was all the right people involved, and it's only 6 episodes, which gives you the it gives you the conception that it's going to be a self-contained story and that it's actually going to be building to something. Mm-hmm. So watching the first episode, you get reintroduced to these characters, and it's kind of fun. David Duchovny is still really, really bland as Mulder. That is not improved. Gillian Anderson is still kind of the same. She's Scully. A lot of the criticisms that I saw, I agreed with, and that it is very much the X-Files, and that not a lot has changed. There's new CGI and special effects, but it's very much the X-Files. If you tuned in wanting more of the same show you saw 20 years ago, you were going to get it. It was not like new and improved. It was very much feels like a continuation of the old show. It's not really bringing anything new, which can be seen as a positive and a negative. I kind of saw it as a little bit of both, because you're coming into a show where you know what to expect and it's going to meet those expectations. But then on the flip side, I kind of want to see a build on this and sort of going towards, an end goal. And I don't really get that feeling from this first episode. I didn't love the first episode. I know we're only talking about the first episode. I saw the second episode. I just watched it earlier, and I actually preferred it. I think it's going to probably be a show that gets better, I'm hoping, as each new episode comes on. But the first episode I didn't love. I thought it was rather average. It gets the ball rolling for this new series. Does that rather well, but it was not something that made me think, oh my gosh, I'm so glad the show is back. The second episode definitely made me feel that.
Interesting. All right, Steven, how about you? How did you feel?
I actually really enjoyed it. It was one of those things where I was never a huge X-Files follower. I watched it, off and on when it was on in the 90s, and it was something that I really enjoyed. I thought was it was one of those, sort of, in a way, groundbreaking shows that, did something that no other show was doing. And I feel like, this one, it made me remember that it's like, oh my God, this is just like a conspiracy theorist's wet dream. You know, it's like it's just all conspiracy theories all the time, and it does sort of make you go like, oh wait, what am I? You know, should I question, you know, the intentions behind this and that, and then you realize it's a TV show and it's all just sort of crazy.
Yeah.
But it was one of those things where it's like I was happy to go back to that realm. It felt very nostalgic. I think I agree with you, Casey, that it was very much the same, you know, kind of show that it was before. But I didn't mind that. I kind of enjoyed going back to that world and seeing these characters again. There were a couple things that bothered me in the first episode. I didn't get to see the second episode yet, so I haven't, you know, hopefully. I wouldn't say like I needed to be better. I think more of the same would be fine for me. But the couple things that bothered me is every time Scully came out of surgery, she had blood splatter all over her neck, and it really bothered me. And I don't know why. I'm like, why is there? I can understand some blood splatter. She's in surgery, but it's like there were very specific patterns on her neck, which were weird.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing that bothered me was the flying saucer crash scene. Looked like a fourth grader CGI project. There was other CGI in the episode that was very well done, but I don't know if they farmed this out to a separate, you know, company. But it was just sort of, it was very distracting how bad it was.
Steven.
Yes. Oh my God, are you the one who did it?
Wow, thanks for destroying me. I thought people were going to think that scene was cool.
I mean, do you guys agree? It was like that one out, like it was jarring, like how bad
it was. It was very not X-Files. X-Files is really not about the CGI. It's really more about the makeup and
exactly,
you know, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But the only other thing that I will say is that because I wasn't a super fan of it, I felt like there were lots of things that I was like, what are they talking about? Like, you know, Mulder and Scully having a baby together. I'm like, I don't remember that.
You don't remember that?
No, and I'm like, I don't know, I missed something, and the smoking man, I didn't know why he had all the facial stuff going on. So I was like, I feel like I need to catch up somehow.
Yeah, there's a lot that's referenced from like the end of season, was it 9 or 10? I guess this one's season 10, right? So
well, it's also the movies too.
Right. We had the movies as well, but like I know the smoking man was in some kind of like his car like got hit by a missile or exploded or something. I may be misremembering. But I thought that he was dead, so I was surprised to see him back, actually.
Right. Well, the actor that played him is dead, so that's not the same actor.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a different guy,
actor. Right? But yeah, it looks like him, so it's all that same weird look.
Right. The other thing is, and I may be misremembering too, but I think, wasn't Scully like abducted or something, and then somehow like impregnated by Mulder's sperm or something, or they had sex? Maybe it was like a question. I don't exactly remember, but
it was something like that. And that's I mean, they go into more in detail in that in the second episode.
Okay.
Yeah. So that builds.
Yeah. Right. But I was right there with you, Steven. There were some things that are kind of called back to, and I'm just vaguely remembering.
Yeah.
I almost wish there had been like a preseason episode.
Yes.
They like highlighted like, here's everything you need to know from the first 9 years and whatever movies from the X.
Well, if they hadn't had a football game, maybe they could have had something before the show. Like, okay, let's catch you up before this. You know? Right.
The
show hasn't been on in 20 damn years. Like, here's what's going on. Okay, thanks. And they didn't reference Robert Patrick at all, of course.
Right.
It'd be nice if they had him as in a cameo this season.
Right. I mean, but they're bringing people back. I mean, maybe we'll have Project come back. You know what I mean? Like,
and what about that gang of nerds that got their own show?
Yeah.
Right.
Whatever their names were.
So it's one of those things where it's like, okay, we're bringing the show back. Okay. I liked X-Files originally, but I got really tired of it by the end. And I think the actors did too.
Yeah.
There was just this palpable fatigue that they had at the end of the original show, and in a way, I still feel it. Like 20 years later, I don't know if it's part of their characters. Now they're older, they're more tired, but it just kind of feels like maybe they're not entirely bought in again or something.
It feels very phoned in that first episode. It's very by the motion. Mulder's doing his speeches, and Scully's Mulder, really? It's like how many friggin' years did you go through this? You got abducted. You're gonna be skeptical again. Like, here we go.
It's like every episode, it bugged the shit out of me. Like every episode was like the same formula, right? Like Mulder discovers something crazy. Scully, doesn't believe what's going on. She's skeptical, trying to shoot it down. But then they go through hardship together, and Dana Scully comes to believe in what's going on. And then
next week,
all over again, right? So, I would kind of think, 15, 20 years later, whatever, in their relationship, that maybe the pattern would be a little bit different. But maybe it's not, right? They're not together anymore. The one girl, Sveta, was like, was it because of his depression that you left him? So I don't know. I'm interested to see where it goes, but I also hope that this show does not fall into the Heroes trap.
Right.
Because Heroes Reborn, the relaunch, revisit, whatever, not learn from its past mistakes.
Yeah.
Well, it didn't come back. It came back, but it wasn't. It didn't come back with any clear purpose of why it came back. That was the problem.
Right.
Just like, well, Heroes was a thing. Let's try to make it a thing again. It didn't come back because the creators had anything to say about these new characters, about the situation, and so that was my fear from this first episode of X-Files. I was like, so why are we back? What are we going to get new with these characters?
What is it that we're trying to accomplish? And apparently the whole first series and movies now were a smokescreen for this agency that has their hands on alien spaceships that work, and they're trying to convince people that it's aliens abducting them instead of humans abducting them and doing experiments. And
I don't like that. That's
Mm-hmm.
that's what fucked up Heroes. When it became a big corporate conspiracy, that's when that show started sucking. I was just like, why can't it be something about evolution or something to do with science? Science fiction actually has nothing to do with the government or some big conspiracy. Like, that's exhausting.
Yeah.
So let me ask you, because now we've all had kind of a chance to weigh in. Is this something that you guys think you're going to continue watching? Are you interested enough to follow?
Yeah, I mean, what I love about it is it's 6 episodes. Like even if you give it its 5-episode run, you've only got one more episode and it's done.
You might as well.
It's I love these short little runs, because it's not something like it's a 22-episode full season. You don't have to really commit. So I'll watch it. Yeah.
Right.
Now, my thing is, I mean, I'm going to keep watching it, but my thing is, it's on the same time as Crazy Ex-Girlfriend, which is a way better show. So, if you're going to pick during that time slot, but, it's only 6 episodes, so I'll keep watching. I'm just not going to expect a lot, and maybe I'll be blown away.
So, Casey Scott, I'm going to give you a 90s anniversary hypothetical. Are you ready?
Oh, my God, yeah, okay.
Love in my heart, gun to your head.
Oh, no.
X-Files or Fuller House, if you had to make a choice.
Oh, God.
Obviously X-Files. Fuller House, I have zero interest in that.
Really?
Yeah, it's like people saying, "Oh, Step by Step's back." Okay, and
is it really?
No, but it's just like
God.
Nobody wants any of these TGIF shows to come back. Like, nobody cares.
Family matters.
Do we need to see Urkel come back now? Like, we don't need to see these things come back.
Well, wait a second. Does Urkel even exist anymore? Isn't he full on Stefan or something?
Family Matters? Oh.
Yeah, didn't he drink a potion and become the super suave Stefan? Didn't he?
I remember that storyline, but I prefer not to about that show. No way, Fuller House. No. Fuller House, I'm hoping will die a painful death. I don't know anyone that is excited about that show.
Except me, but thanks, Casey.
Seriously? Why? Okay.
No.
I was gonna say,
I'm just kidding.
I thought I knew you. Why would you want to watch it?
It's funny. I enjoyed Full House for a brief period when I was a kid, and I know this is the X-Files segment, but you were talking about this resurgence of 90s revisits, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I was, when I heard about Fuller House, I'm thinking, God, why? Of all the 90s shows that I kind of enjoyed, why
Why couldn't they bring back Small Wonder? You know.
Right. Right.
Or I mean, Sabrina, the teenage witch, could be all grown up, living a witch somewhere. That might be interesting, but she's kind of a bitch. So.
She could be like a witch stripper in Las Vegas.
I would watch that.
Running a pawn shop during the day and stripping at night.
And her aunt's Caroline Ray and whatever her name is. Yeah.
Because these shows now have to be dark and gritty, so they died in a.
I can't hear your joke.
We can't hear you.
Brad, I can't hear you. I'm sure it was a funny joke, too.
I know, I'm sure it was. I'm typing in.
Did your thing get unplugged?
Well, he's not even showing up in the video.
I can see him.
You can see him? All right. Well, maybe we should...
It was Sabrina.
There it is.
Hey, there we go.
That
was so weird.
What happened?
You're bad-mouthing Sabrina. She decided to shut you down.
Yeah,
that's what it was.
God, that was some witchcraft.
You know what? I'm totally leaving that in the episode. that was my penance for bad-mouthing Sabrina, I guess. But anyway,
should
all
we
right.
Move on, just in case.
I think so. I think so.
Enough 90s nostalgia.
All right, X-Files. We'll keep watching you for now.
I'll keep watching it. You only have 4 more episodes left.
Well, for you, it's 5 for us, you overachiever.
Yeah. I was caught up on everything miraculously. Yeah.
I
was like, I have the time. I'll watch it.
All right, so let's switch gears a little bit and talk about Legends of Tomorrow. So, Steven, I know at least initially, I don't know how we're feeling after last season and this season, but you and I were both big Arrow people, and of course Flash has spun off from Arrow, and we've had new characters on Arrow and new characters on Flash, and now they've taken a lot of them and spun them off into this new show called Legends of Tomorrow. Mm-hmm. Spoilers, totally fair game, guys, by the way, it's a thing. But, Steven, how are you feeling about this show so far? What do you think?
Well, I should preface it with I kind of hate it.
Tell us how you read.
You know, like I have been saying all along, all last season of Arrow and Flash, that like a lot of these characters felt very forced into. It's like they were like 1-episode arcs, and then all of a sudden they kind of went off because they just need to introduce them to, you know, for this show, which felt very forced, and it was very unfortunate. And then, you know, we get to, you know, the launch of Legends of Tomorrow, which I was curious if you knew, Brad. I know that... Oh, there's someone walking in the background.
No, yeah, it's my brother.
Sorry, it just scared me. So I know that, like, Rip Hunter, whatever, the Time Lord guy, is a real character in the DC universe. But are the Legends of Tomorrow an actual thing?
What was that?
Oh, it was my TARDIS.
TARDIS, yeah.
Because the guy who plays Riptide or Hunter or whatever was a companion, sort of, on Doctor Who for a while. So, Steven, if just to make sure I understand, you're asking if Legends of Tomorrow was like a comic thing.
Yeah, like if it was sort of like the Justice League or something. Or is this a pure TV show where they pulled characters from the DC universe and made their own superhero team that's original to the CW?
Yeah, you know, I'll be totally honest with you. I am not entirely sure.
Okay.
I think that there was a comic series called Legends of Tomorrow.
Okay.
I don't know if it was the same thing, though. Someone was saying that it was different.
Right.
I don't entirely understand. I mean, I know these characters are a thing.
Are real, yeah.
Yeah.
But I just, to me, okay, I'll start from the beginning. It is, I just feel it's terribly written. The dialogue is terrible. The character motivations are just not there. Like, you know, the you know, stealing, you know, he kidnaps each character, puts him in a room, and is like, you know, don't you want to be legends? Well, okay, you know, it's like there's no like real reason why any of them should be there or go along on this quest or believe this guy or trust him or anything. There's no reason they should work together or work well together. They're all different types. There's no reason why he chose these specific people all within the same time plane. I mean, he's a time hopper. He could jump
why
to...
Why be like Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure and get
it's like he could jump all over time and grab people from different time periods, and he grabs everyone within the same year. It's like it just doesn't... I mean, it makes sense because they want to force these characters into a superhero team, but it just doesn't make sense in terms of real motivation, and so it's like I just hate it. Like, and on top of it, I've had this problem with Arrow and Flash lately, and it really kind of heightened itself in this show. Is that I feel like whoever was doing the fight choreography in the first couple seasons of Arrow got fired or wanted more money, and they didn't renew his contract or something, because all the fights are like wild hook, punch. It's like in the first couple seasons it was like grappling and really cool moves and like really utilizing their weapons in interesting ways. And now it's just like it's just terrible. It's just terrible fight choreography, and not terrible, but it's just basic. And I just kind of feel like the thing that drew me into these shows was that they were so not basic. They were above your standard TV flair, and I just feel like it's just like basic effects, basic fight choreography, terrible writing, no real characters or motivation, no reason to watch.
Oh boy!
Sorry.
No, follow that.
I feel like you needed to get that out. So
I did. I was so angry.
I could see it.
An exorcism.
Yeah, I could see it like burgeoning, like behind your eyes, like it just had to come out, and like. Yeah, I think I'm going to echo a lot of what you have to say. Even though I am loving Flash, like it's one of my favorite shows, Arrow has become a show that I'm kind of like hate watch is a strong word, but I feel like I'm only watching it because I've been watching it.
Exactly. No, I feel the same way. I'm like, I feel like this what is it, allegiance to the show, but it's like you're really trying my patience here.
Yeah. And I totally agree. We've had these episodes now where it's like they're trying to introduce these characters and do this setup for Legends of Tomorrow, and one of the things that I loved about Arrow initially was that it was so grounded in reality, right? But now spoilers for Arrow, have fucking Lazarus pits where
I know.
White Canary was killed, and that was like a thing for a whole, Black Canary was killed, that was a thing for a whole season. Oh, Sarah Lance is dead, boo! Now we have a Lazarus pit. She's been thrown in it. She's come back to life, and it's kind of like, I don't fucking care.
Exactly.
And the really bad part of it for me is her character on Legends of Tomorrow, at least so far.
Boring.
So boring. Nothing like her character
like
on
words.
Right. At least her character. Yeah.
From Mad Men. That's why I know her. I was like, oh my god,
okay.
That's Don Draper's niece.
Oh right. Yeah,
she was in the final episode. She was the one who was at the ashram or whatever with him. Yeah.
I didn't recognize her without her black mask and weird screamy voice.
I guess she's a lesbian. I have no idea.
Yeah, she is. Yeah, she's definitely.
Okay. Yeah, that was subtle. Okay.
Yeah. Well, it's in Arrow, she has like a female lover. They're both assassins together.
They've established that.
Right.
If I watch Arrow, I know that.
But I feel like this show. Man, I have so many complaints. I wanted to like it so much.
I know.
It's like this show is trying to be like Guardians of the Galaxy meets like The Time Machine or Doctor Who or something, right? It's trying to blend the two things together, and I think the two concepts work well enough on their own, but I think this is just a poor... Oh, this hurts my heart to say this, guys, but it's like Marvel is doing so much of a better job with these like superhero unit shows, whether it's Agents of, and I hate that I'm saying this, but Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., even the first episode of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., I thought was better than the first episode of this. And you know how much I disliked Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., so that's a lot for me to say that.
That's right.
I remember that. So I don't know. I'm gonna give it the good old Brad Harris 5-episode try.
I might give it 3. I mean, if the next one doesn't improve, I'm deleting it from my.
Well, the next one's technically part 2 of a pilot, so you should get at least one more.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
So we'll see. But Casey, we've been dominating the conversation. What did you think of this one?
Well, see, I'm loving that you guys both didn't like it, but it also makes me sad because I don't know. I'm sad you guys wasted your time watching that.
Yeah.
I was gonna watch it anyway because my New Year's resolution is every new show I'm gonna watch and give 5 episodes.
Wow.
So I'm gonna be on top of every new show regardless of whether we talk about it or not. Just because I want to know what's good on TV. And this is not one of those shows. Yeah. At first I thought, well, maybe this is camp. And then I realized, no, I know what camp is. This is not camp. This is just bad. So, and I'm surprised there's been 0 press about the fact that the stars of Prison Break have been reunited as the two brothers.
Yeah, they've been in the Flash.
In the Flash.
Yeah, but even then, nobody's been like, well, remember when these guys started a TV show together as brothers and they broke out of prison?
Actually, love in my heart, Casey. There has definitely been press about that.
Has there?
There has, yeah.
I don't know. It was very surprising to me. I was just like, wait, how did I not know this? Has no one reported on this? So no, I think, Steven, you used the right word when you used the word force. Like, the whole thing, it all feels very forced.
Yeah. It's very rapey.
Did you say rapey?
Yeah.
Rapey?
Oh my God.
My eyes are very rapey.
You were sexually assaulted by the show?
Did you just say the Legends of Tomorrow raped you, Steven?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
That's the quote you can put on the episode.
Special Victims Unit. Oh my gosh! Yeah,
Wow.
no, it's just not fun. I mean,
yeah.
And I'd probably be nitpicky here, but I have a thing about period stuff, and so anytime any show like this does something set in the '70s and it just doesn't pay any attention to detail and all that stuff, that just drives me up a frickin' wall.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't know, '70s equals hippies to people for some reason.
Yeah.
And that was the decade before, but I don't know. Yeah, so that drove me crazy to begin with. It's just I don't have room on my DVR to record it at the same time as other stuff it's against. So I'm like, I guess I'll watch it on Hulu at some point. I'm determined to give it 5 episodes.
All right.
But I'm really dragging my feet for the 5 episodes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
I don't blame you.
Like I don't even, honestly, I don't even remember what their mission is. Like, it was like in one ear and out the other. I honestly.
Vandal Savage and Immortal Evil.
Oh, that's right, Vandal Savage, which sounds like a porn star.
Who kills his wife and kid in the first few? It's like
right, and then
conquered the future.
See, and that really kind of, I don't know. Like, he's doing it for vengeance and then saying it's for the world. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's
well, especially when he admits that he lied to them about the whole reason they're there. It's like, oh yeah, well let's still go forward with trusting this guy.
Right. And it is very Guardians of the Galaxy because they're total reject superheroes. You know what would be better if they just done a show of Mystery Men? I would have watched that.
Yeah. Well, the other thing that kind of pissed me off is Arnold Palmer, or whatever his name is.
The Dream.
The Atom.
I was going to say
Ray Palmer.
Arnold Palmer. That sounds good.
He, at one point he's like, I don't have a legacy. Nobody's going to remember me. I did all this important stuff. I'm sorry. Didn't they rename the city to Star City once he and everything? And like there was this whole thing, about his technologies, and he has this whole company, and it's going to go on and reinvent things under Palmer Technologies. It's like, how are you forgotten? How are you like mistreated? And like nobody's going to remember me. Like that. It was ridiculous. It was a very was a forced reason for him joining the group. It was a forced emotion, that he shouldn't have.
Well, and the flip side of that for me is like the Atom, at least from an audience perspective, is one of those superheroes that is well known. I mean, you've heard about the Atom. Most people have, at least.
Well,
right?
I've heard of Adam Ant, but
okay. Well, a lot of people are familiar with the Atom. He's like the Incredible Shrinking Man, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And so for him to be giving this speech about how like no one will remember him, or he's stupid and he needs to forge a legacy. In my mind, I'm thinking, well, you're one of the most well-known DC superheroes out there. This makes no sense.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? For if it was just a new hero that they dreamed up or someone that you'd never heard of before, like, okay, I get that. That makes sense. But it was just a little jarring for me to hear, like, a beloved character be like, nobody is going to love me.
Yeah, exactly.
So.
See, I saw the Atom and I thought Ant-Man. I've never heard
Yeah, I mean, I think it's the equivalent, basically, but...
Yeah. Now, when's Plastic Man going to be on? When's Plastic Man going to be brought back? If they can do, Ant-Man and Guardians of the Galaxy, where's Plastic Man?
I don't know.
Why is that not a thing?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, it just I don't know. It felt very forced, and I think we've talked about this recently, where there's just like there's superhero fatigue at this point.
Yeah.
It's like okay, enough. Like, can we please take a break? Can we go back to like I don't know, character dramas and situation comedies? Like,
so
I have to have this.
I do want to circle back to one thing real quick. One thing that people have been bandying about on the internet about this show is, in case you just hit it, was that the Atom is a ripoff of Ant-Man. And I just want to say the Atom actually came first, and Ant-Man was Marvel's answer to the Atom. So say what you will, but I want to set the record straight for our listeners.
Well, I think in this case the people has beaten the teacher. Because
the circle is complete.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, guys. Well, are we ready to move on, you think?
I think so.
Yeah, let's leave this dick in the dirt.
What? What the hell was that? Why would you leave a dick in the dirt?
Well,
if you found a dick in the dirt, you pick it up.
I don't know where that came from.
That sounds like a website, like dickinthedirt.com. Like
dick in the dirt.
Oh, goodness. Wow.
I don't know where that came from.
Wow. That's crazy. That's crazy. All right, guys. Well, let's move on to a little bit of Me Time TV. I will go first because I'm selfish that way. I haven't gotten to go first in a second. So it's my turn.
Yeah, it's your turn.
So I've been mentioning the last couple episodes that I've gotten a chance to check out Nurse Jackie. And it was a show that you guys had mentioned was good and worth checking out, at least initially. I think, Casey, you said it got worse later on, but I'm about 12 episodes in at this point, so I'm making my way, and I gotta say I'm really enjoying it.
It's a great show.
It's phenomenal, but I'm having a problem with it. Can I be vulnerable with you guys?
Yes, be as vulnerable as you need to be.
It makes me fucking anxious, and it gives me bad dreams. It gives me bad dreams about cheating on my partner. And I'm not a cheater. I've never cheated in my whole life. It's something I'm very proud of. But it makes me have these bad dreams about, and spoilers for Nurse Jackie, about like having a wedding ring and like trying to take it off. So
oh my God.
Hang out, and like trying to keep the lies spinning. And so like as I'm watching this show, like every episode, like it's getting worse and worse.
Well, and that won't get any better. She becomes a better liar as the seasons go on. I mean, she's a master manipulator. It's amazing to watch. I mean, that's what I liked about the show, is that character was so well written.
Well, it's totally giving me like Breaking Bad resonation in a way, because it's like when I was watching Breaking Bad, like it was good, but it just made me so anxious for the characters. You know what I mean? And it's doing the exact same thing for Nurse Jackie.
Well, that's the thing about that character, Nurse Jackie, is like you kind of want to hate her at times, but then she does something that makes you love her so much.
Right.
Yeah.
They really balance her out so well. Every character on that show, they balance out very well. Even in later seasons, there's this doctor that comes in, this woman doctor that at first I was like, why do they even have her here? She's terrible. I hate her. But then, like, later on, it's like, she's got different sides to her that I kind of like, you know?
Right. Right.
No.
So I'm enjoying it a lot. I've been having a lot of fun with it. I'm glad you guys turned me on to it. I think I'm probably just going to need to see a therapist for these dreams.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
But I do also want to say it's interesting. I've been watching, Nurse Jackie, and I've been trying to figure out why Dr. Cooper seems so familiar to me. I'm like, I know
Twilight.
I know
Your
him
personality?
somewhere.
Yeah.
No. So I was catching up on Supergirl yesterday.
Oh.
He plays the villain, Maxwell Lord, the rich Lex Luthor type guy on Supergirl.
I haven't watched it since the
I
pilot.
never watched that.
Oh, okay. Well, anyway, he plays the villain on that show. He's a little huskier on Supergirl, so he looks a little different.
Good.
But yes,
Right.
we like our husky guys.
I know,
on
my ears
MeTV.
perked up.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, so that's my Me Time TV. Casey, what about you? What are you watching lately?
Actually, I'm gonna let Steven go because I have 17 shows to choose from.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
I even promised to put you later in the order, and
There's too much good stuff on TV, so Steven might have one.
All right,
and,
Steven.
I don't have to
So
talk.
I will give you guys a multiple choice of 4 choices.
Wow.
For each
Okay.
one of these, I'd be willing to talk about.
Ooh.
American Crime, Shades of Blue, London Spy,
Oh my
or
god.
Hollywood Medium with Tyler Henry.
Oh my god. Well, I only watched 2 of those. So.
Okay. Which one?
I love American Crime and I love
Yeah,
London
that's
Spy.
good.
I want to hear about American Crime.
Okay.
Yeah, American Crime
All
is
right.
really good.
American Crime this is the second season. They're doing it anthology style, where it's a lot of this, most of the same actors, but a different story, sort of like American Horror Story. And not to be confused with American Crime Story, which is starting in a couple of weeks with the O.J. Simpson thing, which I'm actually excited about. I want to see
I think we should probably cover that, you guys.
Yeah, I think so.
Keep at it.
So American Crime this season is about a teenage boy who goes to a party, and basically it claims that he was slipped some sort of drug, some roofie drug, and was raped at the party. And it starts off very innocuous, like he's at a basketball game, like watching basketball practice, and these pictures are going around, and then he gets suspended for the pictures, and then the mom gets called in, and they're being told he's being suspended for these pictures. She yells at him, is like, "Why are you so stupid?" And he says, "Something happened to me there," and basically admits to being raped. And then she goes on a crusade of like, oh my God, she goes to the school and is like, my kid was raped, and the school's like, well, we'll investigate this, and they kind of try and sweep it under the rug, and then she calls the police, and as she calls the police, and they start investigating things, it is determined that, there is evidence of a rape, and so then there's people that they're having to talk to, and that implicates certain boys on the basketball team, and, it's sort of... The nice thing about this show, and what I liked about last season too, is it sort of explores a lot of the facets of like, yes, this kid, there's something to what this kid is saying, but we don't know the whole story. But on top of it, when you throw these terms around like rape, one of the things they mention is the news is going to print an article and attach these kids' names to it. And in this day and age, you do a Google search for this kid's name, rape article is going to come up, and whether they did it or not, they're attached to this news story now, and then there's doubt and everything.
Right.
So it's sort of trying to be like, should this term be thrown around? We don't know all the evidence, we don't know all the whole story, and it's really well acted, well written. I'm really enjoying it so far.
Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, it covers a lot of different things because it covers sexual assault, but also this whole case involves gender, it involves race,
yes,
it involves class,
yes.
So I mean, there are really multiple different sides in different ways to this story, and so it's really every single episode has been amazing so far.
The first season I thought was really heavy on the race stuff, sort of like
really
Crash the movie was, and I didn't really like it. I thought it was a little too over the top.
Right.
But this season it's much more much more that subtle racism stuff, which I love.
Right. Yeah, I love it. Regina King's really good in it.
Oh gosh, she's amazing. I love her.
and what's her face, Felicity Huffman. I just don't know what to make of her character. I'm like, is she the villain or?
She is so amazing. She comes on the screen and she puts on this smile, but she talks to you and she owns your ass, and she commands the scene, but with this pretty little smile, like, I'm not gonna hurt you. But right now, I'm destroying you. You know.
Yeah.
It's so good. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it.
Nice. All right. Awesome. Yeah. Well, Casey, sounds like you've been watching this one. What else have you been
watching?
You have a whole list, right?
I know. And I will just briefly co-sign that London Spy is really good.
Yeah. It was very slow burn at first, but then like the last 10 minutes, I'm like, oh my god, I need to watch a show.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, we'll just leave it at that. But it's really good. Let's see. Okay, which one do I pick? Are y'all watching Agent Carter?
No, I didn't. Love
Agent Carter is so good now.
I've heard that, and it makes me kind of revisit it. I didn't love the first season.
This second season is very. It's another self-contained story from the first season. So yeah, I did not finish the first season just because I didn't have time, and it's not. I don't think it's backlogged anywhere. It's not on Hulu. I don't think. So yeah, I just watched it fresh. And yeah, I'm liking it so far. It's 2 episodes in. I really like the lead actress. I really don't remember what her name is. That's terrible. But she's really good. Yeah, I just really like it. I like the period details. Like I said, I'm a sucker for when they get the period details right, and this show gets it right. Yeah, I really like Agent Carter. I think y'all should give it a chance. I think you should bail on Legends of Tomorrow and watch Agent Carter. It's good.
I might have to.
And that's all. And it's another thing where it's like, I think that you mentioned Brad that you liked Arrow because it was sort of grounded in reality, and that's why I like Agent Carter, because it's grounded in reality with just elements of science fiction thrown, which is a lot more palatable to me than a lot of other stuff. And that's probably why I like Jessica Jones a lot more than a lot of other stuff too.
It's a dicey thing for me. Like, I watched the first season of Agent Carter, and while it was fine, the problems that I had is like, I just get so tired of like witty Marvel, like the one-liners and the quips, and it just it gets to be too much for me. And I don't know, it suffers a little bit under its own weight with some of that stuff. I think if it were a more serious show, maybe it would resonate with me a little more. Like, I fucking loved Jessica Jones.
Yeah.
But if Jessica Jones was constantly like quipping with funny one-liners, I would bail on that show. I'd be like, I'm out. Sorry.
Well, that's not. Well, I mean, that's like, yeah, that's it's interesting. That's an interesting comparison, because Jessica Jones, I mean, the character's not written that way, and she's dealing with a lot more stuff than Agent Carter is. But Agent Carter, it kind of has that. I mean, I'm a big old classic Hollywood person. It has that feel of sort of film noir and you know, screwball comedy kind of stuff. So I mean, I'm a sucker for that stuff.
Sure, and I, you know, like I said, I mean, I liked the first season, I guess, overall, but it just wasn't enough to make me like excited for the next season. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I like how you articulated that, sort of that old like Hollywood style. Like, sometimes when she's like, "Sorry, boys, a girl never kisses and tells." It's sort of that like old black and white Hollywood camp, you know.
Yeah, I love that stuff.
And I like some of that. I just feel like there's a little much of it for me. But mileage varies. This is your list, not my list.
Like, Agent Carter is the Marvel show for people like me who are like not into comic books at all, and like science fiction, but also like, you know, pop culture.
And that's awesome. I think it's so cool, just generally speaking, that we live in a day and age where there's sort of a superhero show that speaks to everybody.
Right, because Jessica Jones is completely different. Daredevil is completely different.
Right, definitely. Even Flash, tonally compared to Arrow, right?
Right.
Very, very different. One's light and fluffy. One is dark. Right. Like, you know, if you're looking for a superhero show, there's probably at least one that will trip the triggers you're looking for. So I'm glad Agent Carter is doing that for you. That's awesome.
Yeah, I love it.
What else are you watching? One more shout out.
One more shout out. Oh
Gun to your head.
so
What
hard.
show would it be?
Gun to my head. Oh God, Colony on USA is really good.
Okay.
Oh, really?
It's a new Carlton Cuse who did Lost. Stars Josh Holloway from Lost. Stars Lori from Walking Dead as his wife. It's really good. It's it's set in L.A. after sort of a mysterious alien invasion, where some humans have sort of sided with the aliens, and they're kind of like in an upper class kind of area. There's kind of like a Gestapo kind of police. There's a curfew, and so there's a resurgence, or like sort of like a French underground thing building where they're trying to take back the planet. And it's really good. It's on USA. I really like it. Josh Holloway, it's always good to see him back there. And I forgot how much I really like the actress that played Lori in Walking Dead. Like, say what you will about the character, she was hit or miss. I thought she was always really good in that role, and she's really good on this show.
Nice.
So yeah, Colony on USA is worth your time. And if you liked Lost, then you'll like this, because it really is kind of like Lost, where it leaves you a trail of breadcrumbs, and you're interested enough to keep following that trail and see where it's going.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Speaking of LA and The Walking Dead, did I tell you my Fear the Walking Dead LA story?
No.
So we went to LA to hang out with our friends Brian and Ron for New Year's, and so they're kind of driving us around, seeing some of the sites, and they're like, "Hey, we're gonna take you to like where you probably will recognize something." And we're like, "Okay, what?" So we're just driving down the street, down by Skid Row or somewhere, and all of a sudden they turn into this like long dark tunnel. And it's that tunnel in Fear the Walking Dead that aqueduct and river is on the other side of. Yeah. So we like pull out into this big aqueduct thing, and I'm just like, instantly I recognize like where we were. And then all of a sudden it was like all prickly, like goosebumps.
Yeah, one of the only good things about the whole season was that whole area.
But then there's this guy with this super souped up, like really pretty motorcycle, trying to like take pictures with like the cityscape, like and we're like fucking parked like right in the middle. So I totally thought he was gonna come beat the crap out of us.
Oh my God!
He was like yelling at us. It was
It's free country, man.
Yeah, whatever, man.
Anyway, quick aside, but all right. Cool. Well, guys, should we finish up with some quick pluggage? What do you think?
Sure.
Yeah, I have a lot of stuff to choose from to plug. Actually, I've narrowed it down. All
right. So let's do this. So, Stephen, why don't you go first for plugs?
Sure. I'm gonna plug something that I forgot to watch, but it should be Lucifer. I'm plugging that because my friend who wrote that episode of The Flash is a staff writer on that show.
Oh, wow.
And I've been working on it for a long time, and so it was one of those things where I'm like, oh, I need to watch this, and I forgot to record it. So
I liked it.
You did? Okay.
Yes.
Good.
It's not great, but it was very entertaining. The guy who plays Lucifer is hot. Yeah, I really liked it.
Yeah.
So is this a show about the devil?
Yes.
Yeah, it's on after X-Files.
Oh, is it like Smallville? Like, is it all about like how the devil became the devil?
No, it's like Sleepy Hollow, but with the devil instead of Ichabod Crane.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Similar. Yeah.
All right.
It's really good.
Huh. All right. Might be worth checking out.
Tell your friend I'm very impressed so far.
All right. Good.
I like it. I've seasoned past it.
Nice. All right. Excellent. Awesome. Let's go with Casey. Casey, what's your plug this week?
My plug is for the CW Monday nights, Crazy Ex-Girlfriend and Jane the Virgin 2-hour block. These shows are really, knocking it out of the park every single time. They both just came back last night, Monday night. Both are really good. Rachel Bloom won the Golden Globe for her work on that show, Crazy Ex-Girlfriend, when Gina Rodriguez won the same award for Jane the Virgin the year before. So you're really seeing two, great young actresses doing really good work back to back in really funny, sweet, interesting shows. And Crazy Ex-Girlfriend still bringing it with the musical numbers. which I think are really a lot of fun. I'm not a big musicals person, but the musical numbers on this show really work. They're funny and very clever. And Jane the Virgin is wonderful. I don't know if it's too late to get on board with that show. You can watch the whole first season on Netflix, and I think the rest are on CW.com and Hulu. But those shows are both amazing, and yeah, I will love them forever, I think. Unless they really fuck up, but I don't see that happening because they've been doing so well. So
awesome. All right. All right. Let's see. For me, I just want to plug the return of Survivor. I know it's like 3 weeks away.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh wow, it's only 3 weeks away.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
It premieres on February 17th. So.
Oh my god. Are we doing a Survivor pool?
I think we should. I think we totally should.
I need to actually. I'm going to do that after we finish. I need to watch the if they have the contestant videos. I need to go and watch those.
Yeah, they've got some of that stuff already on the website.
Okay.
Yeah, so definitely check it out. But it's coming up on the 17th. So I know we're like 3 weeks away at this point, but I just wanted to put it on the radar. This is another Brains versus Brawn versus Beauty season, and I'm a little lukewarm to the that premise. I was not a huge fan of it last time, but the last couple seasons of Survivor have been so damn good that like I'm excited anyway. So can't wait. It seems like the last season just ended, even though I know it was like 6 weeks ago. You know what I mean?
And it was such a crazy whirlwind that whole season.
Right.
But I don't know. Brains versus Beauty versus Brawn was Kage-on, and that season was amazing. So
well, the season ended up being...
The concept fell by the way.
Yeah. Let me clarify. The season was great. I liked the season.
Right.
Just the premise wasn't great. Like dividing them based on, you know what I mean? So
because it ended up being, it didn't matter one way or the other.
Right. It was a total like non-entity. You know what I mean for that season, but.
Some of the smart people were really stupid, like the chick who threw the rice in the fire. Whatever. Who was on the Brains team, and then they kept her. What was her damn name? It was like Jatia. That's who it was.
Right.
What a nightmare. Oh my god.
Oh goodness. Yep. All right. That's my plug. We have any other plugs?
I don't think so.
I don't think so. Gosh,
are we all plugged up at this point?
Okay, well, there's a really good show called Recovery Road on Freeform, formerly ABC Family, that's really good, about a teenage girl in a recovery, an alcohol recovery house, and that was really good. So,
nice.
So much good TV on right now.
I know.
It's insane. It's like there's no breathing room whatsoever.
Right.
All the shows that you like go away for a spell, and then while they're gone, these other shows come and take over. And then when everything is on at the same time, it's gonna be really difficult.
Oh man, yeah. Well, Casey, as we look to wrap up, are there any dicks in the dirt we need to pick up?
Where did I hear that?
I have no idea.
I feel like Devon said that in Less the Best, maybe. It sounds like a Devon line. I'm sure I've heard it. Some drag queen said it, I'm sure.
All right. Well, guys, as usual, this has been a total blast. I love getting together, and I'm glad our schedules are starting to align so that we can do this more often. So that's great. Those of you who have been hanging out with us live, glad to have you. Those listening on digital tape delay, glad to have you too. We'll be back probably in a couple weeks, I think, perhaps. We'll have to figure out what we're going to tackle. So many shows coming up.
I know. Walking Dead and Better Call Saul come back in 2 weeks, I think.
Right.
And Final starts on HBO, which is supposed to be good too. We got stuff.
All right, everyone. Take it easy. Goodbye.
Bye, guys. Leave that dick in the dirt and watch TV. Enjoy TV.